So today, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell have made his points very clear that the governors of all the central banks, they are not in a hurry to, know, to increase the interest rates. That they are also looking at reducing rate more. They need to cut more on interest rates. The last they've done, 50 basis points. They will be looking at economic review and the data that will be coming up. But the last unemployment data shows that the economy is good. So when the economy is good and the Fed decides to continue to cut rate in order to achieve its 2% target, they will continue to do so as long as unemployment is reduced. So the unemployment data came out good, and judging by the analysis, the market is reacting differently to that. And, I made mention in my last analysis where to expect to buy and where to expect to sell. And in 4 hours, you will see a very clean price action. The breakout from the resistance structure in the retest, breakout of the resistance structure, and price evidently played into my nets. I knew exactly this is how the market evolves. In August, we had a big rally and a strong structure forming, and price played into our territory. The most important thing is to understand the structure of the market and how the market is playing. So you see price established the first point. I'm going to say RS. Just calculate. RS means resistance becomes support on break of structure. So I will be looking at the structure of the market, and I want to see a breakout to the structure of the market. And when you spot the breakout to the structure of the market, you look at the retest. So when the structure price is broken, we expect price to return to the broken structure. You see, we have resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3. Technically, resistance 1, resistance 2, they are all highs. When you look at it, they are all highs. When you connect the two highs, this top resistance touches a giveaway. And when price returned, price broke the resistance structure. The rule is to return to fill the space. The rule is to return to test a broken resistance now to become support. That is why you have them as RS. What does RS mean? Resistance becomes support on break of structure. So we are working on 4 hours, and technically, you see the market has set itself up for a buy. Like I said in my previous analysis, I said buy into 2,623 and into 2,620. Market tapped into 2,624.5, escaping by 1 point. Sometimes it's like that. We didn't get triggered on that trade, but the analysis was right. But we were too precautious because I believe in sniper entry. So sometimes too many precaution can also make you miss the bigger cake. So the market came down into that zone. It came into the box, but if you placed a pending buy order, that number is not going to trigger. Let's be very honest about it. But if you are watching the trade on real life, the moment the price comes into the box, it's a retest in the zone. You can see resistance 1, resistance 2, resistance 3, break out from the resistance structure, price came back to test the broken resistance structure as a foundation for uptick, and that became support. And on that support, price returned today. And following Sir Jerome Powell market decision that the Federal Reserve are not in a hurry to reduce rates, but they will be watching other data that follow, especially data coming on Friday, to further decide on what next to do. But there is a very high probability that rate cut will continue. So what does that mean for other economy? What does that mean for the yellow metal? That gold and silver will continue to see a significant uptick. It is important that we look at the structure of the market. When you look at the structure of the price, you realize that the market has maintained a strong bullish presence. So I will be taking recognizance of all the trend lines, and I will be watching out for break and close of every structure, especially on 4 hours. Why is 4 hours important? 4 hours minimizes every wrong assumption in the market. It's more detailed and gives you a clearer um, understanding to the breaker structure. So I will be looking at, we have here to the downside. To the downside, we have a very strong support resistance structure. I call it SR, main support, break of a support, become resistance. And this strategy has always been how the market moves. So we'll be looking at here, this is RS, then I'm going to call this SR. So this is my SR1, this is my SR2, so this is my SR3, and this is my last SR4. So today we had a double confluence, and when price tapped into 2,623 into 2,624, the buying pressure resumed. So what does this mean? That if buying continues, if we don't break out from this structure, I'm going to label this structure AB. A, this is structure A. It's called resistance trend line, and I will call the end B. So this is a resistance trend line. Breakout of the resistance trend line becomes a support platform for uptick. Now to the downside, we have an ascending trend line, and when you combine the both, you have a chart pattern. The two angles make up the chart pattern. So it's up to you to decode what you can see. This is expanding, meaning contracting. As price continue to ascend, the triangle is contracting. And we have a breakout this moment and a retest. And I expect price to speed up from here. So this is the structure of the market. And when you further probe into what is going on, you will notice that we have another structure very clear here, which we are likely to play into it. So we look at it and see how we play into the structure. Resistance, 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 another resistance, break of resistance, support. We broke out on Friday. Like I said, price was going to sell from 2,674 into 2,672 and into 2,670. So you can see the trade evidence is from the structure. So when price broke out, I expect price to return. to fill a gap for me. We have a gap which I call retests. So I'm going to use the abbreviation RT. So price return to test the zone. So a return into this level is a push from 2,674 to what we have today, 2,624. So over 400 pip drop, over 400 pip drop. Yes, over 400 pip drop. So this is the structure of the market. So I expect price to further push up. Price to further push up. This remains a barrier. The market has created a very strong ascending SR line. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Break out of a resistance trend line. Retest. I'm going to label this RT because that is what it is. So this is the candle that broke the structure. This is the candle that broke the structure on Tuesday. So subsequent return to the platform becomes a retest, signaling that buyers are still very much entered. But a breakout from this structure will also call for a further retest, which I also call RT. And price came and did exactly what I expected it to do. This strategy is based on break and retest. But you must first of all understand where is the resistance support line, where is the support resistance point. You must be able to know the retest. You must be able to see when market forms a structure, which candle broke the structure of the market, which candle broke the structure of price. Allow price to return. The reason is because a return is to create a chart pattern. Most returns comes in forms of double top, double bottom, head and shoulder, triple top, triple bottom. You can have expanding triangle, ascending triangle. You can have a bullish flag. You can have a bullish wedge, bearish wedge. You can have a bullish pennant. Most times, candle with a very strong rejection, you'll be looking out for a hanging man. When you see a hanging man or grillstone dodging, these are different candle combinations, which you can join to your market structure strategy to take your decision. But from what we have here, price is playing into buy based on the structure of A and B. The line A and B represent a resistance structure in previous. A break of the structure, price returned the first time, the second time. I expect uptick. We are on buy on this. We already have a buy order on this. So the market will continue to uptrend. Data analysis and information today from the Federal Chairman Jerome Powell speak that Fed are still going to reduce rates. The focus is to make sure that inflation is within 2% or below. And the key is to keep employment. Avoiding unemployment is the key and the major focus of the Federal Reserve. So we believe that gold and silver will see a significant liquidity push. So buyers may step into this zone to resume buying. I feel it's a little bit too early, but respecting the structure of the market, respecting the structure of price, it is very clear that take profit at this level, correction, market drop, return, correction, market drop, impulse. This is another correction, market drop. So this could be the buy. If this is the buy, then it's expected to price to return to 2,680 into 83.84 to retest the previous all-time high. I said in my previous video, I expect price to come back. I expect price to come back. It is normal for price to return and do the needful. If price returns at this level, That will be a double confluence. And when it's double confluence, you know what to do. You take your risk. So I expect the market to come back. If the market comes back, we have a pending resistance structure. The resistance structure has been tested. It was tested by close of Friday, and price did exactly what we expect. So if the market open and we see a further push, we'll be waiting for price to return into the zone of 2,684 into 2,680. But it doesn't end there. There is also a very high probability that gold might tap into 2,700 zone. We will look at the market analysis. If price continue uptick, then we will change our chart. We'll look at a new pattern. But for now, we are working with a 4-hour structure. But we believe that price is still going to make its way up. I will draw a new trend line because I need to get the roof of the structure. The roof of the structure will give you a clue as to where this drum is heading to. So we need to look at it. We need to pick the previous highs and see where we have been maintaining resistance structure. The resistance structure is going to serve as my new roof. It is important to wait for selling at the roof. The big market makers always wait for market at the roof. They wait at the roof to smash the price whenever price gets to the roof. So many pending sell order. If you look systematically, you will notice all the sell order were lying at the roof of the structure. So we must respect this roof. We must respect this roof and play to its gimmick. We need to see what they are doing. If you look at it systematically, you will see every time price returns to the roof, it ends up in a massive sell. Each of the sell in excess of 300 pip. Each of the sell in excess of 300 pip. Each of the sell in excess of 300 pip. So we look at it this way. The last tap into the roof, price dropped from 2,684 to what we had today, 2,624, jumping our target by 1 point. What is fantastic because price played into our zone. That was a fantastic analysis. It played into our zone based on our previous analysis posted before this. So glad to see that price return. So what I expect price right now to do is to push. If price push, we could further extend this rally into 2,719, into 2,721. This is the new roof. So the weekly candle will continue to play in this direction. This is the new direction I expect the market. I expect price to continue to play along. So we already have this roof confirmed. Can you see? Test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4. So if we continue to buy, we'll have a stoppage at the previous all-time high in the zone of 2,684, 2,682 into 2,680. We'll have a reaction. The price action must be respected based on break and retest strategy. And we will further look at the divergence to see where we also have break of structure. So we use divergence to accompany the structure of the market. We're looking at the diverging points. So from there, it builds your courage into what next to do. So from here, I see price moving up. I see price moving up. However, if we break out from this structure, then we have more selling room. If we break out from this structure, I would like to look at this market. I would like to look at price to give us a very fantastic drop, again. And believe it or not, it's going to be a very fantastic drop, very fantastic drop, very, very fantastic drop.